Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Wrestling Edition. Today, we have a special wrestling episode for you guys. We have our wrestling expert, Jacob Mason, with us. How you doing today, sir?
I am fantastic, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And we still got the captain. The captain's still coming on, still doing his wrestling tour with us. Byron Mitchell, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I couldn't miss this special episode.
So our last episode was the WrestleMania recap, and it's been a couple weeks, but there was this thing that flew underneath our radars that we weren't able to talk about, and we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about maybe the worst list WWE's ever put together, the WWE's 50 Greatest Women's Superstars. So we're definitely going to hit on that, and then we are going to talk about the releases that happened right after WrestleMania, and we have a lot to say about that, especially in regards to who just showed up on Monday and who is without a contract right now. So this is going to be an episode for you guys. So just sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So first thing we're going to talk about, WWE, when their thing with Peacock was doing the 50 Greatest Women's Superstar of all time, and they had like a couple come out each day until they got to number one. This list was met with a lot of controversy because this list is trash. I'm just gonna say it right now. It's garbage. There are a lot of good points, but it is bad. So before we just start going through names, Jacob, what did you think when you saw this list?
Oh, well, to lead up to this list, I just had you texting me and blowing up my phone with a lot of very, very adult worded text messages saying how you really felt about this. And I was like, oh, it can't be as bad as what Martin's making it out to be. That was my first thought. Then when I finally seen the list, I went, oh shit. I was like, this is bad. This is really bad. And then once you start diving into it, you're like, and I started getting pissed off about it. The entire world got pissed off about this. This is terrible. This is the worst. Like you said, this is the worst list WWE has ever put out ever. Forget the dollar controversy. This is it. This is it.
Byron, because I know when I first sent it, it was through Sportskeeda, so you thought it was their list, and I was like, no, that is from WWE. What did you think?
Yeah, I really thought it was Sportskeeda, and me and Sportskeeda really don't get along that much because they have put out some terrible lists in the past. So when you first sent it, I was like, it's just Sportskeeda, so I'm not going to look at it. Then when you said, oh, it's WWE, I was like, oh, I got to look at this. So I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, this list is trash. Like, the way they have ranked people is just, it's atrocious.
Yeah, it's bad. So we're just gonna dive. We're just gonna dive from the bottom and work our way up a little bit. I know, especially in the top 10, Jacob has a huge gripe with someone in there. So I'll definitely.
Me too.
You do too.
I think we all do.
Fair. I just know there's one particular lady you're just like, how the hell is she this low and not in the top 5 or 3? That's nonsense. So I'm gonna start. Number 50, they had Toni Storm, who was a former NXT UK champ. And I was like, okay, if Toni Storm's 50, that's okay. But then you have 49 Kaitlyn was the main rival for AJ Lee in that time. I'm like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Kay Ray, who's like on a historic NXT Women's UK Championship. I'm like, I'm okay. I was like, all right. Then it starts getting bad.
Yes.
Number 47 is Sonya Deville. That makes no sense. No titles,
right?
No major wins, and the 3 people behind her have titles.
Yes.
Don't get that at all. She had one WrestleMania, I guess, big match against like Mandy and all that, and she wasn't even the one who won.
Right.
So that's when I started getting a little red flaggy there. And the fact that Sonya was on this list and Mandy Rose is not on this list, and you can say Mandy's accomplished more in WWE than Sonya, and she's not even on the freaking list. So that was the first start. And then you see Shotzi Blackheart, who I'm like, well, at this point when this list was made, she wasn't even a tag team champ. So I'm like, the girl with a tank is higher than 3 former champions.
Well, no, she was, according to this list, because I have a picture where they have the accomplishments up. When this list was sent out, she actually was NXT Women's Tag Team Champion.
Okay.
And she was NXT Breakout Star of the Year for 2020.
That one doesn't count.
I'm just saying. That's what they have down for accomplishments.
So tag team, that must have recently happened then. That was big. And then you go to 45 was like Kelly. 44, which, I mean, this is Jacob and Byron. You guys love her. I like her too. Candice LeRae. Is that a little bit too low or too high for?
It's so high.
It's high.
Shouldn't even be on the list.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, listen, I'm a massive Candice LeRae fan. Massive. Why the hell is she on this list? And how is she higher than? I mean, maybe it's because they started off with 3 champions right off the rip. So you're starting off with 3 champions. Theoretically, it should only build from there, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense. Common sense. That's the problem here. Because you have Candice at that point has no titles except well, last night she won it. So hey, good job, Candice. What? Just why? It makes no sense. She shouldn't be on the list. She hasn't done shit except lose. No offense, but that's just the way it is.
True.
That's true. Well, she won at War Games.
Bro, nah, man.
I'm just saying.
But I'm so hot about Kaylee Ray actually being 48 and like these people being above her when she's like on Goldberg type, like Brock Lesnar championship reign level. Cause she's what?
Yeah.
Over like 500 days as champ?
Yes.
That in itself should put you over people who haven't won a title. And speaking of this, let's just get this out the way too. Eve Torres was number 40. I like Eve. Ember Moon was 41. I was like, yeah. Again, like Jacob said, the fact that you started with 3 former champs, I was like, yeah, that's a tough start. Maybe if they would have started with Candice and then the 3 champs, maybe. But I feel like Kaylee Ray should have been higher. Ember Moon, she was a former champ. Obviously, she had the rivalry with Asuka and NXT put her on the map. I'm not saying she's going to be on there. But this is where I exploded on Jacob and sent a lot of 4-letter words. You want to talk about someone who shouldn't be on the list. Why is Lacey Evans ranked ahead of all of those champions?
I don't understand this at all. Like, she's not even that good of a, in my opinion, she's not that good of a wrestler. Like, she hasn't really impressed me in her matches that she's had. She had that little rivalry with Becky Lynch after Becky Lynch, historically won at WrestleMania. And I don't think she was a good first opponent for Becky Lynch, but that's just me because I'm a big, huge Becky Lynch fan. But Lacey Evans shouldn't be this high on this list.
I don't even know if she should be on the list because her only accomplishment, what did it say? Southern Belle? That was it?
There was Southern Belle. She was competed in the first women's wrestling match in Saudi Arabia. She was the number 1 entrant in the 2019 Royal Rumble match. But, I mean...
That's
hold on. We're forgetting the biggest thing Lacey has done here. She had a relationship with Ric Flair. That's got to mean something. I mean, Ric Flair's a beautiful man. I mean, that's got to be worth at least number 50.
Make you alone with that, maybe, but she shouldn't be 37. Like, she's not better than Eve Torres. She ain't better than Ember Moon.
For sure.
She's better than Candice LeRae. She's not better than Kaylee Ray. She's not better than Kaitlyn. She's not better than Toni Storm. I mean, she's not better than Nikki Cross. She's not better than Layla. Like, who is she better than that she was ranked above? She's not better than any of them. Now you can make
Sonya. I'd say she's better than Sonya.
Okay, so if she's better than Sonya should be 50 and she should be 49.
Yes.
That's fine.
So that one pissed me off. Then I just saw Maurice after. Maurice was trash. I mean, she God help me, she was a champion, but Maurice sometimes was just a blonde, which we're going to talk about her a little bit later. She was just a blonde Eva Marie sometimes. But then you have Nia Jax. Then you have Bianca Belair at 35. I felt like that was still too high at the time, even though she just won the Royal Rumble. That was her only accomplishment in WWE because she was never an NXT champion. So I felt like that was still too high. If I would have again, man, if you've never won a championship, you can't be higher than people who've won championship unless you've done something like crazy. And then, which I'm gonna stick up for a little bit, I think Carmella was a little too low. Money in the Bank winner. Well, technically won it twice.
Technically
was
won
it two
twice.
times champ? I think she might have been. I think I'd put her above Naomi. I'm not gonna lie.
I agree with that statement. I agree because you guys. I mean, she was a great heel with her and Ellsworth as her heater. Mm-hmm. She was a wonderful heel.
Naomi was 30, and it's like you compare like accolades. I mean,
they have really pretty much the same accolades, except for Naomi hasn't won a Money in the Bank championship.
And Naomi was, even though when she was champ, she wasn't like a top like face at the time. Like Jacob said with James, Carmella was the heel on SmackDown.
Yes.
Like I would switch them. I'm not gonna lie. And then you have like people, Gail Kim, who, if you're not a real wrestling fan, Gail Kim is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing her that low kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. Jacqueline was 32. It's just like, yeah. Then Kyrie Zane, who I like Kyrie Zane. I think she won the Mae Young Classic against Shayna Baszler.
Yep, 2017.
Yep, and she had a rivalry with her. So I was just like, okay. I mean, she's done things. Then you have Melina at 27. And I was just like, well, okay, Melina, I'm not indifferent. I'm not going to lie. I felt like this group was too low, too. The Bella Twins are at 26.
First off, why are they ranked together?
Agreed. Right there, buddy.
That's a good.
Like they both have their own accomplishments. They should be ranked separately.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know they came in as like a tag team, but like they went on to do their own individual accomplishments, so they should be ranked separately.
I agree, and
yep.
And I even think, I think that gets me more mad because they're put together, so it's both their accomplishments, and they're both that low.
Right.
I honestly feel like the Bella Twins should, especially as a group, they should be in the top 15, maybe pushing like top 12. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I agree. Because wasn't Nikki the longest reigning Divas champion?
Was.
Yeah, she definitely
the longest reigning Divas champ, and she's the one who did the favors to Charlotte for Charlotte's first reign.
Yep.
She was the main event in the all women's pay-per-view against Ronda Rousey. They gave that to Nikki.
Yep.
And I mean, Bree's been a champion too. And then when you talk about all the stuff they've done for the USA Network with Total Divas, Total Bellas, like, especially as a group, they should be up in the top 15, pushing that top 10 range.
Right. I agree.
Yep.
Do you have something, Jacob, you want to add on them?
No, they shouldn't be booked together, and they both should be higher. As much as it pains me, because I'm not a Bella fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. But that being said, like, hey, I'll give the double its due.
You got 25, Io Shirai, Stephanie McMahon with 23. Which, me personally, I mean, I don't know if I would have had Stephanie on the list just because she doesn't wrestle that much.
No, she shouldn't have been.
I would.
If you're gonna have Stephanie on the list, she should have been like in the top like 3. Like for all, because I mean, she's the billionaire princess. She's the boss's daughter.
True.
Like, what are we like? Are we based? If we're obviously not basing it on kayfabe accomplishments, because Sonya Deville's on this list. Lacey Evans is on this list. So it's like, and then you have Michelle McCool, who, if people don't know, she was a champion. Rhea Ripley, 21. And I was like, see, I wouldn't have Rhea Ripley over the Bellas. I wouldn't do it.
No.
I think Rhea Ripley's too high on the list.
I do too. Especially at this time when she was a loser.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, it is what it is. She's too high. And this person who always loses, I think is a little bit too low. Natalya at 20. I think she should be, I feel like she should be a little bit higher. just a tad bit.
Like top 15 or number 15?
I think Natalya's better than Molly Holly.
I agree.
And Molly Holly
100%.
I agree.
And I'm about to get hot on these next three. And I think this is where Jacob was really starting to get fuming. Why is AJ Lee not in the top 10?
Because she's
That's
angry.
a good question. That's a wonderful question.
How is AJ Lee not in the top 10 and Shayna Baszler is ranked ahead of her? And why is Sable ranked ahead of AJ Lee at 15? No, 16, I'm sorry.
16.
16. But what the hell is that?
How many championship reigns did AJ Lee have? Do either of you guys know off the top of your head?
3.
Oh,
According to this list, 3.
She had 3.
Did she have more reigns than Nikki Bella?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because
no,
honestly,
yes, because Nikki was at 2.
Okay, but her one reign was
The longest.
literally only put together just to beat her accomplishment of the longest reigning Divas champion. Remember that?
Yep,
Yes.
yep.
That was a big deal at the time. So it's that's why we gotta separate the Bella twins here. We gotta it's the whole thing's so messed up.
To be honest, if we separated, where do you think Brie would rank? Because Nikki would rank a lot higher than Brie.
Probably low 40s.
Yeah. I'd say like high 30s, low 40s.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And if they want to talk about the cultural impact stuff, remember AJ Lee was the one on Twitter who said, give divas a chance.
Yep. She started that whole movement.
That was the one that started. I don't care what anyone else freaking says. Obviously, the 4 Horsewomen when they came up was the official start, but that tweet spurred everything that went viral. Everyone was talking about it. AJ was a better wrestler than most of these people. She was damn sure a better promo than most of these people. And she was
I would dare say she's the best promo work, has possibly the best promo work on this entire list.
I was about to say that too, because I'm looking at someone who we all love. And would you take, and is Alexa Bliss better than AJ? Because promo-wise, Alexa, I think, could hang a little bit. When they weren't wrestling, they both did a whole bunch of backstage work.
Yeah.
But when it came to in the ring, AJ significantly better than Alexa Bliss. And we all like Alexa Bliss.
Facts. I can't hear a word you're saying, Martin.
Oh, I think she's rightly placed in that 13 range.
I agree. I think Alexa was placed pretty damn near perfect.
Yeah.
But I don't know why Sable's there. To be honest, Sable sucks.
She was a women's champion, 2-time Slammy Award winner.
Isn't she married to Brock Lesnar?
Yes.
There you go.
I mean,
Here you go, boys. Your answer. Your question is now answered.
Why? But I don't know why Shayna Baszler is this high. I mean, she's never even held like one of the main. She held the NXT title. She's freaking dominant. This would have been a couple years later.
Mm-hmm.
I could have seen her this high, but not right now. Paige, it's 17. Like her and AJ were really carrying stuff.
Yep.
So I felt like if AJ should have been higher, Paige should have been higher. Obviously, Paige's career got cut short. Alexa Bliss at 13. I'm gonna be honest. And then number 12, I was kind of hot. Mickie James deserves to be in the top 10. Not gonna lie. Before Charlotte came along in the 4 Horsewomen, Mickie James had the second most women championships of all time.
Yep.
Only behind Trish Stratus. And obviously, for all the listeners who've seen Mickie outside of WWE, she has won titles everywhere she's gone.
Yep.
So Mickie should be ahead of Beth Phoenix. I'm sorry. But then, as Jacob said, who's Beth Phoenix married to?
Edge.
Is this guy's? Hold on, I'm going to quote AJ Lee here. Is talent sexually transmitted?
I was just watching that promo a couple weeks ago.
Say what you want, but a lot of the questions here, like, oh, why is this person so high? Oh, wait, who are they married to? Is the rankings sexually transmitted? I'm not sure, guys. I'm just making an obvious statement here.
Hey, to go off of that, would Nikki Bella be in the top 3 if she was still with John Cena?
Ooh.
Theoretically, is John Cena still wrestling at this point?
Yes.
100%. I would say Nikki would probably top this list.
She would probably definitely have more championships.
I mean,
facts.
But yeah, Mickey should be in the top 10. She'd be above that. Beth was at 11. Let's go in the top 10. We're gonna go one by one.
Ooh, here we go.
This is where we're all right. So number 10 is Bayley. Question: are we okay with Bayley being in the top 10, or should she be like around 11 to 12? Obviously, we know her accomplishments, but is she that much better than Mickie James, prime AJ, and Alexa Bliss? Like, I'll start with Byron. How do you feel? Should she be in the top 10?
I think she deserves to be in the top 10 based on her accomplishments in NXT and recently as a SmackDown Women's Champion. I would say she deserves to be in the top 10.
Okay. Jacob?
Yeah, I'm going to say she deserves to be in the top 10.
Okay. Number 9, Ronda Rousey. Jacob, does Ronda deserve to be in the top 10?
Get the fuck out of here with that question. Top 10. That is an absolute disgrace that she is in the top 10. Is she better than Prime AJ?
No.
Is she better than Prime Mickie James?
No.
I will go as far to say, is she better than Kaylee Ray, Kaitlyn, or Toni Storm? Because I feel like you could make an argument to say they are better wrestlers than Ronda Rousey.
Is she better than Prime Alexa Bliss?
No.
God, no. No, she's not.
And I don't understand how you can be in the top 10 after one full year. You did one full year. I understand you helped get main event women, but we're all going to be honest because it's an honest podcast. And we're digging the tribal chief. But if the tribal chief didn't have leukemia, those women would not have main evented WrestleMania 35. And that is fact.
That is facts.
Like, what are we talking about here? Byron, I already know what you're going to say, so go ahead, man.
Hell no, she doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. Are you kidding me? She's not even that good of a wrestler. Come on. She had one championship and main evented WrestleMania, which she lost. No, she doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. Like, this is like the one that I am the most heated about. And not just because I'm a Becky stan, because we all know that. But no, she does not deserve to be in the top 10. Like, Becky is living in her head rent free. That is tragic.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. There's not enough. There's not enough body of work. 1 year you're not in the top 10. I don't care what anyone says, especially with the women we just named. Byron, I'm gonna stick with you because this was another one. Lita. Does Lita deserve to be in the top 10? And is Lita too low?
I'm gonna say she does deserve to be in the top 10 because she was one of Trish Stratus's main rivals. And we all know Trish Stratus deserves to be ranked where she is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she deserves to be in the top 10. Mm-hmm. I would put her maybe 6 or 7.
Okay. Jacob, I know this one really set you off. Does Lita deserve to be in the top 10? And is Lita too low?
Lita does not deserve to be in the top 10. She deserves to be in the top 3.
Oh.
I'm sorry. And maybe because I'm a fan of Lita.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can make the argument you could have the debate of Trish and Lita of who was, in my opinion, who was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I know when I was a kid, Lita came out there, hell yeah, let's go. I mean, the crowd pop you would get for Lita was so massive. It was bigger than what a lot of the guys were getting at the time when prime Lita. And then, I mean, to bring into the real situation of like her cheating on Matt Hardy with Edge, she was getting nuclear level heat.
Yep.
I mean, the only other women's wrestler that I can think of that got even close to that level of heat was Vicki Guerrero in her prime.
And Vicki Guerrero's not even on this list.
We'll get into that in a bit here, boys. But no, Lita is way too low. Definitely deserves to be in the top 10. You can easily make the argument for top 3. And that's my take, though. That's my humble opinion. It could be wrong. I don't know.
I agree. I do agree that she should be higher. I definitely think she is better than the next person. Number 7, Alundra Blaze. I know obviously she had the iconic moment with putting the championship in the trash can. That's going to play forever. But I think Lita is better than her, and I think her career, I do think she should definitely be around the top 3 to 5. Looking at the top 5, I agree. Alundra Blaze, Jacob, do you think she should be in the top 10?
Get the fuck out of here. This is the other top 10 one that infuriates me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why? I'm sorry. Alundra Blaze is known for 2 things in this world. 2. 1, taking the title on the WCW and throwing it in the trash, which, I'm sorry. If I'm WWE, I might not hold the biggest of grudges, but I'm certainly not going to forget that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take my title and throw it in the trash? Kiss my ass. You're not going to be on top 10. She doesn't deserve to be in the top 10, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to let that happen? So she's known for that and driving a monster truck. That's it. It's the only things I know about Alundra Blaze. You drive a monster truck and you threw a title in a trash can. That might prove how white trash I am, by the way.
Byron, what do you think about Alundra? She should be in the top 10 or no?
I'm not 100% sure about this one because I've never seen her body of work. Like I've never watched a match of hers on WWE Network or now Peacock. So I'm not 100% sure where she should be. That's my honest opinion.
But you know the moments, especially the trash can moment. So, okay. Number 6 is Sasha Banks. Byron, do you think Sasha Banks should be in the top 10? And do you think she is slated just right?
First off, it's boss time.
Okay, Michael Cole.
Just had to get that out there. I think she deserves to be in the top 10 as well. She's just an amazing wrestler. We just saw what she did at WrestleMania with Bianca Belair. She's a 5-time Raw Women's Champion, a SmackDown Women's Champion now, NXT Women's Champion. So, and also the Women's Tag Team Champion. So, yeah, I think she deserves to be in the top 10. I might put her in top 5.
Okay.
5 or 6. I think she's right where she should be.
Okay. Jacob, Sasha Banks deserves to be in the top 10. Does she fit in the right spot, lower or higher?
Yeah, definitely deserves to be in the top 10. I mean, going through all this, we have to realize you have the 4 horsewomen, which definitely have to be on the top 10 because they are changing the game, and I'll give the devil its due. But that being said, I think she's a little high though. I would put, I'd put Lita above her, certainly. I'd put Mickie James above her. I mean, drop her down a spot or two, drop her down 9, I'd be fine with that. I mean, she's close. I'm just nitpicking at this point. So.
I hear you. I hear you on that. Obviously, I agree that she should be in the top 10. But based off these rankings, on these, I think Sasha Banks should be higher because Sasha Banks is better than the number 3 ranked person. I'm just going to be honest.
Ooh.
Number 3 had one good year after years of obscurity. Let's just be real. And we'll get to 3 because that's what got Byron hot, because number 3 was the one who was taking all of the hate. But we'll get to 3. I'm going to start with this one. Asuka, she deserves to be in the top 10. I'm not going to lie. She deserves to be in the top 3 and 4. And there's times where I think we talked about Lita. There are times where Asuka legitimately has claims to being the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Just going to say it. All the stuff she's done in America and Japan. If she claimed she was the greatest women's wrestler of all time, I wouldn't be mad. Just going to be honest. Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, you could make the argument easily. That's a debate you could definitely have a lot of weight behind. Me personally, I think Asuka's pretty much perfect where she's at on this one.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, no, I think right there, that's perfect for her.
Byron, what do you think about the Empress of Tomorrow? Right spot, higher, lower?
Definitely deserves to be in the top 5. I probably will put her 3 or 4 because what she's done in WWE, NXT, what she's done overseas, she's just one of the most amazing wrestlers that we have. Sucks that she, didn't win her championship sooner because of Charlotte Flair, but hey, she definitely deserves to be in the top 5.
Fair enough. Number 4, China. I mean, I don't think this goes without saying, Byron. He deserved to be in the top 10.
Yes. Because I think she was a pioneer when she was in the wrestling business. She was coined the 9th wonder of the world, I believe. Mm-hmm. She actually won men's titles. She was a WWE Women's champion. So I think she deserves to be in the top 10. Now, I don't know if I would rank her 4.
Okay.
But I definitely think she deserves to be in top 10.
Jacob?
If someone claims China does not deserve to be in the top 10, get out of here. Get out. Your opinion is irrelevant. I think this is another one. I think it's a perfect spot for China.
Okay,
I mean, she was an absolute trailblazing, ass-kicking woman, both in and out of the ring. I mean, let's face it, she would be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for Stephanie McMahon at this point.
Yeah.
Yep. And not just in DX. We're talking, just her as herself deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. That's perfect. 4 all day. You could even argue for her to be higher, I think.
I agree. Number 3 is, oh boy, this really caused a lot of storms, and I was on this train. Number 3, they have Becky Lynch. Jacob, does Becky Lynch deserve to be in the top 10? And is number 3 way too high?
Yeah, she deserves to be in the top 10. She's essentially the female Stone Cold Steve Austin. Once again, she's part of the 4 Horsewomen. Has to be in that top 10. Has to be. 3 spot. I mean, accomplishment wise, is she better than Sasha? Is she better than Bayley? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't sweat too much over this one. I'm just like, it is what it is. Because we'll see what happens. We're kind of at this point though, where I think it's hard to claim that you're going to be in the top 3, considering your career's not even over at this point. Where you can't sit back and go like, well, do you deserve to be, in this? It's kind of like when we talked about being in the Hall of Fame, where my credentials was, you have to be retired. You can't have that. I don't think you can have the best wrestler. I don't think you can have that GOAT talk. I don't think you can have nothing until the dust settles and you're done. And then you can look back on, everyone can look back on the career and say, oh yeah, she was definitely a top 3 women's wrestler of all time, or she's the GOAT, or whatever, whatever you want to say. We're at that really weird spot right now.
Byron, I'm gonna let you go last on Becky because obviously Becky's your girl. For me, like Jacob said, if you're a 4 horsewoman, I think that automatically entitles you to a top 10 spot. Like if we're just gonna be real about that, Jacob hit the nail on the head. 3 for me is way too high because she's not even the most accomplished 4 horsewoman. If I remember, she's last. So that's already a problem for me. And Becky had that time frame where she was wearing the goggles and she won that first championship. And then Alexa Bliss was just beating her ass for the next couple of years. and then with her other girls, when especially Charlotte and Sasha and Bayley started winning titles, you saw Becky was getting real frustrated. Like she was not getting enough play. She won the title again. And then Charlotte took it from her, and then that obviously started the transformation. But Becky has had that one white hot year, and I want to see like when she comes back, what that's going to be like, because Byron has said the line that she lives in Ronda's head rent free. What is Becky going to do when she comes back? Because after she was done with Ronda, it was kind of stale because they put her against Lacey Evans. Like that's not fault of Becky. And I just think that she, because of her accomplishments and her other people, I don't think she should be in the top 3 spot. Because I have a hard time, honestly. Becky, AJ, Mickie James, and Alexa Bliss. If you take away the one white hot year, are you really taking Becky? If you take the one white hot year, do you take Becky over Alexa Bliss? I mean, obviously the company took Alexa Bliss. And prime Mickie, 6th champion. AJ, who was cutting these promos before Becky even moved up. Like, but I think she deserves this 3's too high. Byron, what do you think? You know she deserves to be in the top 10, so you don't have to say that part. But 3 spot.
I think the 3 spot is maybe too high. And that's being unbiased. But biasedly, yes, top 3. No. But unbiasedly, I don't think she deserves to be in the top 3 because, like you said, out of the 4 horsewomen, she probably has the least accomplishments. Yeah, she is a 2-time SmackDown Women's winner, Raw Women's Champion, Royal Rumble winner. But the other ones have also had more championships than her, more accomplishments than her. So out of the 4 horsewomen, she probably should be ranked lower than Sasha and Bayley. But yeah, definitely everyone said deserves to be top 10, probably in that 6, 7, 8 range. But definitely Bayley probably should be before her. Bayley and Sasha should be before her, but
I agree. And with the Sasha thing, and the reason I'm super high on Sasha is because if you name a woman, usually their best match ever was against Sasha Banks of this recent time. Ronda Rousey's best match was at the Royal Rumble against Sasha Banks. Yes. One of Becky's best matches was that one-on-one against Sasha Banks when she came back.
With Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Hell in a Cell. Obviously, we know about Match of the Year takeover with Bayley. We know what Sasha and Charlotte at Hell in a Cell, like Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. Sasha Banks does the job, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like she's not worried about the losses and all that because obviously she gets titles like no other besides number 2, who we're about to talk about. But that's why it's hard, especially with those 4 horsewomen. Like, and then you throw in like AJ and Mickie and Alexa Bliss. Like, I feel like those top 10, that's tough. But number 2, the Queen, her new nickname, the Opportunity, Charlotte Flair. We're gonna correctly say her titles. She is an 11-time champion, not that 13 bullshit. that they're saying on TV, because we still here on the L7C podcast still don't know why they count Charlotte's NXT championships in her overall title, but don't do it for anybody else. We still don't know. But Byron, does Charlotte deserve to be in the top 10? And is number 2 right spot too high, or is it too low?
We all know how I feel about Charlotte Flair. Mm-hmm. Definitely deserves to be in the top 10. Yes, she deserves to be number 2, even though I cannot stand her with a fiery passion that consumes my soul. She can wrestle her ass off. Like, she puts on some really good matches. Like, you can always expect her to show up and perform. Like, one of my favorite matches of hers is her against Ronda at Survivor Series.
That was it, yes.
And at the end where she, at the end where she beat the hell out of Ronda, I still watch that to this day. But yeah, she deserves to be number 2. She's done it all except for win Money in the Bank. So yeah, she deserves to be number 2.
Jacob, how do you feel about the Queen?
Oh, I'm torn here, boys, because I absolutely despise Charlotte Flair. Absolutely can't stand her. The problem is, I know going into this, you're going to end up having the conversation. Well, is she the GOAT? Is she the best? Because that's how they're going to book her. Even though it's trash, she doesn't deserve it, and she's definitely not riding her daddy's coattails like she claims she's not. Yeah. I hate it. I hate the fact she's number 2. She shouldn't be number 2. Lita should be number 2. Lita,
I can make the case for Asuka being number 2 too.
There's a lot of people you can make the case for here. I mean, it's is she too? The thing is she too high? I don't know, because here in a few years you're going to be, like I said, make that conversation of, is she the fucking best or not? Yep. Everyone's just going to be, yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, it's tough because we all have our feelings about Charlotte. I mean, it's the truth. But right now, even if you don't even think about the matches, like 11-time champ, she has the most championships in history of the women. I mean, that automatically is already throwing her in like the top 3 or 2. And it's unfortunate, like Jacob said, because she's already at the top 2 now. And Jacob said earlier, her career's not over. Mm-hmm. Like on Fox, WWE, they like, who's going to surpass Ric Flair? Cena, Orton, or Flair? Like, just seeing those 3 names, I'm just like, well, if it keeps going right now, Charlotte's going to pass Randy. Randy's at 14. John Cena and Flair are 16. Like, if Charlotte wrestles 3 straight years healthy, she's probably going to be at 18.
Probably.
No. And then, like Jacob said, if she can say, I have 18 titles. I don't have the most ever in the women's. I have the most ever in wrestling history. And she'll be champ. Shit, by the time in a couple of weeks, we might be saying she's on number 12 because she might win.
I hope not.
Like, we go every year, we go through a whole year saying, is this the year Charlotte gets another title? And it's almost guaranteed. Like, it's almost getting, like, it's wild. Number 1, Trish Stratus. I mean, there was no surprise there. But when we were talking about Charlotte, I almost feel like Trish is almost on borrowed time, unfortunately. But I mean, I love Trish Stratus. And the shit she had to put up with back then, obviously, her and Lita were blazing trails. And I am perfectly fine with Trish number 1. Anyone else?
I'm perfectly fine with Trish being number 1. Trailblazer, first to get 8 women's championships. Had a great send-off match. She's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think she definitely deserves to be number 1.
Okay, go.
Yeah, 1 or 2, I'm good with it. Like I said, you can make the argument for easily 3 other people: Asuka, Lita, or Charlotte. You're not to go back to Charlotte, but you're going to end up seeing her be number one. It just is what it is.
It's inevitable.
Whether I will accept that or not is irrelevant. But no, I'm good with it. I'm good with her being number one.
Yeah. So I want to do this. So we have when this episode comes out to the masses, so we can put this in the Facebook and in the Twitter and all of that. How about we have our top 10s ready for when this episode comes out? So we could post our individual top 10s with the episode.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
So we can see how different ours is in this trash, and then how different ours from each other's. Yeah, let's get those top 10s. I mean, Justin's usually typically quick, so this gets central today. He'll probably have it potentially done by tomorrow, then out by Friday or the weekend. So let's have them done. Let's try and have our top 10s by like Friday.
Can do.
All right. Well, next, that was the WWE top 50. As you know, it was not a good list. There were some good, some bad, but hey, what can you do when you have people in the back who don't know what the hell they're talking about? And speaking of people who don't know what the hell they're talking about, this one's near and dear to Byron's heart. April 15th, 2021, WWE Max Exodus again. Byron, I'm going to let you take it away.
So yeah, April 15th, 2021, a year after the, Black Wednesday of 2020, when they let like a lot of wrestlers go, maybe I think it was like 10 or 13. This year they let 8 go, I believe. 1 year later, and there were a lot of wrestlers who shouldn't have been let go. Like Samoa Joe was like the number one. Like, what the fuck? He was just literally announcing in a thunderstorm on WrestleMania for you guys to be told 4 days later, yeah, bro, you don't got a job no more. I don't understand. I don't have the list in front of me, I think.
Oh, I have the list. So, people who got released, Jacob, let me know if I miss anyone. Billy Kay, Samoa Joe, Bo Dallas, Kalisto, Wesley Blake, Mickey James, Chelsea Green, Tucker, Peyton Royce, Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Jacob, I know when these started coming out, me and you were shook, especially when it got to Billy and Peyton. And then Samoa Joe just rocked the wrestling world. Because like Byron said, this dude literally was commentating on WrestleMania from Friday to Sunday. And then Monday, they're like, yeah, dude, sorry if you caught a cold in the thunderstorm. We don't need you no more. Jacob, what did you think, man?
Well, just on Samoa Joe, are we talking the whole?
We'll go Samoa Joe right now because I think he was the top one that we were all just like, what the hell?
I don't understand it. I mean, I know Samoa Joe got injured, but Samoa Joe, I mean, if you think back to Brock Lesnar's title reign that he had, man, the one guy who put up a fight that really made me believe like he was going to win was Samoa Joe. That match they had, I believe it was Great Balls of Fire.
Yep.
Pay-per-view. God, that was an amazing match. I mean, Samoa Joe's had some absolute just wars with people. I mean, his feud with AJ Styles and calling out, "Oh, Wendy," friggin' awesome. Wonderful stuff. I don't know what you're thinking. Like, is he that injured to where he's just not wrestling anymore? That's the only possible way I could even think like, oh, hey, that's why they got rid of him. But at the same time, he was wonderful on commentary.
Yes.
So I don't know. He was you could put him anywhere in the field. You can have him coach. You can have him train. I mean, I don't know what the hell they're thinking here.
I know he wanted to come back and they did not clear him. Like, I don't understand. He's had some, like you say, he has some great matches. Like in NXT, him against Finn Balor was an amazing feud. He was a great wrestler. He was over with the fans. I do not understand why they let him go.
I think this is going to be one of the biggest mistakes WWE's ever done. And everyone, from Renee Young to all of them, is like, how do you fumble the bag with Samoa Joe? The fact that Samoa Joe was on WWE and never held one of the big titles, Universal WWE Champion, that's a travesty.
Yep.
And you want to talk about NXT. If you want to talk about streaks, let's not forget Samoa Joe's the only person to ever beat Demon Finn Balor.
Yes. And you don't beat Demon Finn Balor.
Like, Demon Finn Balor has one loss ever, and it's Samoa Joe. The guy was a 2-time NXT champ.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he came up here, like Jacob talked about, when he fought Brock Lesnar, you really thought he could win. Like, the promos, it wasn't the same Brock Lesnar promos where he beats you up for a couple of weeks when he's there. Then you have the one take-home show where you get a couple shots on him and you're like, oh, he could beat Brock Lesnar. He was going right at Brock physically. He was going right at Paul Heyman on the mic. There's not that many people who could do that in this company ever, especially right now. And then he's gone. Which, I'm not going to lie, it really pissed me off because, as we said, he was commentating WrestleMania. He did shows for Peacock leading up to WrestleMania for them. And that really got me freaking hot. The other one that got me omega hot, I'm going to do in the pairs, were the Iconics.
Yes.
That made no sense to me because a couple of weeks ago, we were all here raving about Peyton Royce's promo, her best promo ever. And we're like, oh, she might get a push. Byron, we talked about it almost a year ago where they broke up the Iconics because they want to see if Peyton could be a singles champion. Yep. They never put a trigger on that. And Billie Kay, who was left alone on SmackDown, who, when we did the Royal Rumble review, she was one of the best things of the Women's Royal Rumble because she was so entertaining. Like, that resume thing is gold. And I'm going to sound like sour grapes and to quote CM Punk, but to change it. The fact that Billie Kay and Peyton Royce don't have a job and Lana does makes me freaking sick, damn it. Like, that makes no freaking sense. And that has me so fed up because both of them are more over than Lana. Both of them are better wrestlers than Lana. What? You can't even say the sexually transmitted talent because her husband got her ass fired last year with Rusev. So how the hell is Lana there and Peyton and Billie are not? That just, oh.
Yeah, I think the Iconics was the second biggest shocker of the releases. One, Billie Kay was just on TV. She was actually just wrestling at WrestleMania. So how the hell do you let her go when she's over with the fans, has a great gimmick of, oh, here's my resume, can we like tag together? Absolute gold. She struck gold with that. And I don't know why they released her. It's dumb as hell. And then Peyton Royce had a fire promo. She had a good match against Asuka. So why you let her go is beyond me. Like, she was over with the fans as well. Why they never gave her a singles push like they rumored to after they broke up the Iconics. They put her with Lacey Evans, and I don't know why they did that either. They should have given her a singles push. They shouldn't have released them. Bottom line.
And Peyton, remember when she gave that promo, she was trending for a couple of days. Peyton versus Asuka.
Yeah.
Like, other wrestlers were getting behind that. Jacob, what did you think when the Iconics got released? And you knew we can't have an L7C wrestling podcast without me mentioning Lana. How did you feel that those two got released and Lana's still there, even though both of them are better than Lana in every way? And Lana always gets into trouble every year and she still has a job there.
Yeah, I don't know how Lana still has a job. It's Vince McMahon just has to like her. There's no other way.
Yeah.
This only proves, the entire list proves one thing to me. Vince McMahon hates tag teams. Absolutely hates tag teams. So, like Byron brought up, they broke up the Iconics for God only knows what reason. Okay, whatever. I was not happy about that. And then a month later, Peyton's teaming up with Lacey Evans. Why? You literally ruined a good tag team to put them in a shitty tag team. It makes absolutely zero sense. Everyone liked the Iconics. I don't know anyone who was like, oh yeah, the Iconics, I don't know anyone who was like that. So I don't know. It was dumb as shit. Like both Billy and Peyton were over as hell.
Yeah, and anyone who thinks otherwise really wasn't paying attention to the Twitters, the Instagrams, to the fan reactions. They were both over. The other ones, like Chelsea Green, it was interesting because I think she was the first warning shot to us. Like, oh, she just got released after she worked so hard to come back. And Jacob, we just talked about her a couple podcasts ago about the swimsuit, the wrestlers can do it too thing. And then she got the boot. Mickie James made no freaking sense because obviously we just talked about how she should potentially be in the top 5 of all time, and she really hasn't gotten a chance. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Mickie James had an interview about like how, I mean, obviously she still looks freaking phenomenal, but she's around like 40, but how like women at 40 are different in wrestling than the men, because she's like, why am I old that I'm 40, but we have people like Goldberg coming back being champion at 56.
Yeah, I didn't see that interview, but that's an excellent point.
And I just saw that, and I said, man, if Jacob sees this, he's going to go off, and Byron will too, because we know how y'all feel about those old timers being champs. She's like, just look at the main event of WrestleMania. Edge came back and he won the Rumble, and he's over 40.
Yeah. I mean, she makes an excellent point. Like, it's definitely a double standard.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so that was one. Tucker was interesting because he hasn't really done Tucker and Kalisto. Bo Dallas was interesting because it was like, we just found out he was with Liv Morgan. So as Jacob said, he's cool. He's with Liv on a farm somewhere.
They got a real estate company. Real estate's hot right now. He's got Liv. I seen Bo Dallas go. He's like, oh, hell, he's fine. Bo Dallas and I was like, oh, that's fine. Whatever, guys. Sweet.
It just started going crazy because, Byron, you brought this up. Like, it's kind of tasteless because it was literally the same date a year ago where this all happened. And Byron, I'm going to let you really go off on this because CM Punk said many, many years ago, budget cuts.
That pisses me off. Like, how do you fire a bunch of wrestlers for budgetary reasons when you literally just made a shit ton of money off of selling the WWE network to Peacock? Like, what was it, like $1 billion? $1
billion with a B.
Yep.
$1 billion. You literally just made $1 billion selling the WWE network, but don't have the budget for 9 or 10 wrestlers. That literally makes zero sense to me. And I know, like, no one can ever explain that to me in WWE, like, how that logic makes sense. Like, it pisses me off. Like, and plus, during COVID, you made like $46 million, but you fire people for budgetary reasons. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand the logic of like, oh, we made $1.46 billion in 2020 during COVID, but we can't keep these 9 wrestlers around. It makes no sense to me.
And I'm gonna toss this one to Jacob because the girls one, I was starting to calm down until I watched wrestling on Monday, and the freaking nerve that Eva Marie is coming back. So you're telling me we got rid of Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Mickie James, Chelsea Green for Eva Marie. Jacob, when I say those names and sing what we're getting back with Eva, what do you think?
It's a terrible trade. It's like that meme that, like, I give you this, or I get this, you get this. Like, this is the worst trade deal of all times. This is not good. So, Eva Marie, why are we getting Eva Marie?
Thank you.
Nobody asked for this. Like, nobody. Okay, you guys are big wrestling fans. You guys probably have more friends than me. Do you know anybody who is like, oh my God, Eva Marie is coming back? Let's go, boys. Like,
there was one, but he's trash, so he doesn't count. There was one, and it kind of pissed us all off, so we're not gonna say his name.
He's a huge Eva Marie fan.
Is it who I think it is?
It's not Mitch. So
No, not Mitch.
It's not Justin. It's not. You. I don't think you've actually met this one, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
right.
Dude, you're right, man. You hit it right. It's a terrible trait. And if you're gonna say something like from like a looks or Instagram, if you're gonna get shallow, are you really gonna tell me that Eva Marie looks that much better than Peyton Royce? Like, if you're gonna get shallow about it, like, oh, Eva Marie has a big following on Instagram, so does Peyton Royce.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I know Chelsea Green does.
Yep.
I know Mickie James does. I almost feel like we're going backwards because we just lost 4 people who could wrestle. And the last time we saw Eva, the hottest she was is when she was having those purposeful top malfunctions.
When she didn't have to wrestle. The best time she wrestled is when she didn't wrestle.
Because she can't wrestle.
Yeah, that is true. And now I just want to put this in perspective for you guys here. And this is, I'm going to count when Becky comes back, because I think Becky's going to come back in 2021. So right now, Rhea Ripley's champion. She's going against the 2 people who are the singles competitors right now, Charlotte and Asuka, which is a problem because that means Rhea will eventually lose to one of those 2.
Yes.
Becky will come back. And then you have everyone else is in, as Jacob said, they're tag teams. So Eva Marie is going to just come and be like, is she going to be a contender? Like, she comes back. Raw, and I love Mandy Rose, but Raw has Eva Marie, Mandy Rose, and Lana on the same damn show. What the hell are we doing here?
I mean, they're good for ratings. I mean, unless Eva has improved from the last time we've seen her, she can't wrestle. Lana's not that good of a wrestler. Mandy, she's not.
She tries.
She tries. I would say she tries more than Lana.
Oh, that's not even a question.
Yeah.
Lana let Jacob down.
Lana let me down.
Well, we know how I feel about that one.
Okay, here. Let's say this. Let's say Eva Marie comes back and she's been training her ass off. And she's great. Let's say she can wrestle like no other. What do you do with her? What do you do with her? Even if she's good, what do you do?
Jacob, you know the logic. If you're bringing someone back after releasing all these people, they have to be an instant title contender. They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. Or she's just going to be at the bottom.
She's not.
Like, there's no choice. She will probably, if Asuka, because I think sooner or later she's going to go on some vacation.
Right.
Charlotte does whatever the hell she wants. Depending on when Becky comes back, I can see Rhea Ripley versus Eva Marie at Money in the Bank. Or I can see Eva winning Money in the Bank now.
Oh.
Well.
And Jacob, I want to toss this to you too, because I brought this up when me and Byron were watching Raw together. How is Eva going to act on social media knowing that she's coming into third-party banned WWE now? It's not it's third-party banned. Like, is she going to be able to comply to those rules?
I think she's going to have to. I mean, I'm sure going into this, I'm sure it was very explained. Like, hey, these are the new rules. Like, take it or leave it. And I'm sure she's like, oh yeah, we can do that. I'm sure she can. It's not like she hasn't made her money on the side, like doing all these other endorsements.
That's true. That's true. But no, Byron, you brought about Eva bringing up ratings. I mean, no one had Eva Marie coming back on their wrestling bingo board this week. And Eva Marie was trending for 2 days. Evolution. She said we're going to have like Evolution.
Oh, God.
It's the fact that we were watching and Courtney's like, is that Eva Marie? And we were all just like, yeah. She's like, what? Why is she back? I was like, that's fine. I was like,
I mean, she has been rumored to be coming back to WWE for months now. We just never knew when it was going to happen. I thought it was going to be at WrestleMania, and when it wasn't, I was like, okay, she's probably not coming back till like SummerSlam or whatever. But she's here. I don't know what they do with her. They let 4 other wrestlers go that are 100% better than she is. So we'll see.
Do they mess up this Eva Marie thing like they did Liv Morgan's vignette and just have these keep playing and then she gets in the ring and all the sizzle's gone? Because remember, Liv Morgan, the transformation, they did too many promos for that. They should have got her in sooner.
Yeah. And then they put her in a shit storyline when she came back.
I just want, like, who is Eva? Like, Eva's going to have to feud. She has to go for the title. I mean, they're not going to feed her to Charlotte. Like, that's a hell no. You're just coming back.
They can't feed her to Charlotte. Like,
you're going to throw in a tag team, but who's there left to be a tag team? All the other women are in tag team.
Because it's Naomi and Lana, Nia and Shayna, Mandy and Dana, and then Asuka, Rhea, and Charlotte are all singles competitors. Am I forgetting someone?
Is Riot Squad on Raw or
they're SmackDown?
SmackDown. Okay.
No, Byron, you just named the whole Raw women's roster.
And that's
embarrassing.
We let 4 go when we have tag teams on Raw, like no single competitors. Like they're eventually going to have to break up Nia and Shayna. Like when they do it, why they haven't done it yet, I don't know. But they're eventually going to have to give Rhea competitors to face, or she's going to have a shitty first reign. Like she can't keep wrestling Charlotte and Asuka the whole time.
No, because
I can see WWE doing that.
I mean, with the way WWE is going, probably. Like,
I mean, how many Randy Orton and John Cena matches did we have to endure
back in late 09?
Yeah, even later than that. It was nonstop.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right.
Oh, they'll push that. Oh yeah. Triple threats all year. Let's go.
Triple threats all year.
I don't. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting now because that's gonna be one of the first things they talk about on wrestling for the next couple of days on WWE television. Eva Marie's coming back. I don't see it. There's no point. But maybe she'll prove us wrong. But then again, if she comes out and she's worse than Lana, she has to go. There's no saving you if you're worse than Lana.
There really isn't.
What if they become a tag team?
So then Naomi's out.
And
what if Lana turns on Naomi and you got Eva Marie and Lana on a tag team? My God, the rants on this podcast will be amazing.
The only tag team I think could make sense would have been Eva and Mandy because Eva tried to take Mandy underneath her wing during the Total Diva days. But Eva, oh my God, it's giving me a headache thinking about her fighting for a title.
Well, either she's fighting for the Raw Women's title or she's fighting for the tag team titles.
Oh, boy. Last quick thing, because we're talking about contracts. Daniel Bryan's contract legit expired that match against Roman Reigns, and he is currently unsigned. Jacob's already done the investigative work. They've already moved him to the alumni section in WWE, so that's what you really know.
Oh.
Yeah, you're unsigned. Does Daniel Bryan even want to resign? Like, does he just want to ride into the sunset and go be a dad and just go make total Bella money?
Total Bella money, wow. I think, I don't know, because he did have that time with his family when he was injured. So does he have one last push in him? I don't know. I mean, I think he probably does because it's Daniel Bryan. He still puts on amazing matches like that. Triple threat match was really, really good. So he probably still has it in him. I don't know if he re-signs with WWE. I know. Maybe before WrestleMania, he said there are some wrestlers at NXT he wanted to wrestle. So maybe they re-sign him and move him to NXT.
Not sure, but I think Jacob was the one who actually made me pick Daniel Bryan at the Rumble because his logic was great. That we were hearing that this was his last run.
Yeah.
And when because there was no reason they didn't have to put him in that match against Roman and Edge, but they did. So when he put him in that triple threat, I really thought, this is like his legit last run. So Jacob, what do you think about DB right now?
Ooh. All right. So it actually kind of excites me that Daniel Bryan is out. So theoretically, he could re-sign. If he re-signs, he can go to NXT. You have easily 6 or 7 dream matches I could pick, just off the top of my head that I'd love to see him do in NXT. Or do we get what I think Daniel Bryan is going to end up doing? And besides be a hermit in his house in the Northwest, when he's not in Phoenix, I guess, making that Bella money. Is Daniel Bryan, I think he's going to become the indie guy, where he's not going to have a contract with anyone. He's going to, I'll wrestle here, I'll wrestle here, I'll wrestle here, I'll do exactly what I want. I'm only going to wrestle who I want, when I want, in the storylines that I want. So, could we see Daniel Bryan in, I don't know, New Japan? Could we get a Okada versus Daniel Bryan? Could we get a Jay White? Could we get a Tanahashi? The list goes on and on and on. Which, by the way, this brings back the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, not Daniel Bryan, which would be awesome. And then, does he go to AEW? Do we get to see all those dream matches? Do we get Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryan? Do we get the Belt Collector versus the American Dragon? My God, let's freaking go. I am so excited right now. So Daniel's going to get all the time off he wants, spend time with his kids, eat vegan food, do whatever the hell he wants. Wonderful. And we'll get good wrestling out of it. Because he's not going to CM Punk it and just do nothing. No, he's going to wrestle. He's just going to do it on his own time.
No, he won't CM Punk it, and he won't go to like UFC or anything like that. I think both of you have some good points on that. We're talking about someone who, talking about NXT and someone who had we had that Bella money, but obviously he didn't need Bella money because he has 5 Knuckle Shuffle money. How'd y'all feel about Karrion Kross and John Cena going back and forth?
That was interesting. I wanted to see it happen. Give me John Cena versus Karrion Kross.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the fact Cena is like even entertaining the idea. And on his Instagram, I love where he never posts that he just posts a photo. No captions, no nothing. Just a photo. And it will set the world ablaze. I love it. It's great.
I'm not gonna lie. When he posts his photos, I pay attention because like he was the one who I was like, oh, AJ Styles might debut at WWE soon because he just randomly posted a picture of AJ Styles before his debut at the Rumble. And then AJ Styles, like you're right, he never posts a caption on any. He just posts a wrestler's picture.
Yeah, my favorite John Cena Instagram post is when he was getting sued by Ford. So I posted like the Ford Pinto, the shittiest car they ever made on his Instagram.
He's funny, man. But that's it, man. We really hit a long, especially that women's top 50 and these releases. We'll be back to our, God hoping. We already know as soon as we end this, something's crazy is going to happen tomorrow. It always happens after every wrestling podcast. We record, we're done. The next day, world's on fire.
Actually, should we talk about Mark Carrano getting fired?
Oh, yeah, because that was in line with the WWE
that was also
releases.
Part of the releases.
We're talking about Trash Bag?
Trash Bag.
Let's talk about the Trash Bag.
Let's end it on Trash Bag. Jacob, you brought it up. Go ahead, man.
Okay, so Mickie James set the world on fire because they sent her all her shit in a trash bag, which turns out she wasn't the only one. Because Chelsea Green ended up posting the same thing, but she's like, I didn't want to be an asshole about it, but my boyfriend was like, yeah, do it. They're dicks.
I mean, they did fire him the year before.
Huh?
As they did fire him the year before.
Right. But so yeah, they send Mickie James all her stuff in a trash bag, and she raised a whole fit about it. And then Stephanie like replies to her, and then Triple H makes a post, says, we let go of the guy who did it, and I didn't know who it was. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, Mark Carrano's gone. I'm like, oh shit. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I watch Total Divas and Total Bellas because, of course, I do. Why wouldn't I? And Mark Carrano might be one of the creepiest looking people I've ever seen, and just gives off like really weird vibes on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, like. That guy made so much money, I'm sure, at WWE. It's not like he's hurting by any means, but I mean, how you gonna send all this shit out in the trash bag and then apparently send the wrong stuff too? Because Chelsea Green said she got stuff that was Liv Morgan's and Natalia's.
Wow. Wow. WWE is trash. From night 2 of WrestleMania to this, WWE has been trash. Like, how do you send a future Hall of Famer's shit in a trash bag? Like, I don't understand.
I don't understand too. Like, maybe because we work normal like type jobs. Like, if you get fired, why didn't you get the day where you can come in and get your stuff and leave?
Right.
Like, why are you sitting in the trash can? And see, that Mickey James stuff, it pisses me off because we're talking about future Hall of Famer, one of the top 10, top 5 greatest women ever, and you're getting a trash bag. And Chelsea Green saying like, "Oh yeah, they just sent me other people's stuff." Now, if we want to really take it further, how come it was only the girls who posted the shit with the trash bag? Where are the dudes at?
Then, like, did they get
Tucker
their
was smoking cigars, playing golf, so I don't think he cared too much.
like, did they get their shit in a trash bag? Like, I want to know.
Because that causes a whole other thing of issues.
Right.
But as Jacob said, Odu from Total Diva Total, he has problems. But yeah, man, that was terrible. That was a bad look. Bad look from WWE. Like, I don't even know if I guess now, because it's the 21st century, you have to tweet your apologies. But I hope they called them first before tweeting it. Like, hey, sorry about it. But then again, if I'm a released wrestler, am I taking your call? I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, since we just talked about trash bags, and then it just made me start thinking of Lana again. So we are going to end on that note. Jacob, any last words?
It sucks all these people got released, but let's be honest, we're going to see a lot of good wrestling on the indies in AEW because AEW is going to pick up a lot of them.
Yeah.
They have to get the Iconics immediately.
Oh, they will, because I mean, what is it? Is it Peyton Royce's husband is that dickhead Sean Spears? So
yeah.
I don't like Sean Spears.
The chairman.
the Reaper, the guy who stole indie wrestlers' gimmicks. No, AEW is going to pick them up, no doubt. But I mean, all the other people, they'll be fine. Bo Dallas is great.
Bo Dallas is probably just chilling.
He's living his best life right now. I'm so happy for Bo Dallas.
Jacob, I did forget before we go to Byron, the quote that you said out of all the stuff we were talking about this is that you wished Bray Wyatt was on that list to put him out of his misery. That hit me deep.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I kind of forgot I said that.
That one hit
completely
me
honest.
deep.
Honestly, after WrestleMania, I had to take like a hiatus from wrestling for like the past 2 weeks. Essentially, I've seen like what's been happening, but like I had to take a hiatus because Bray Wyatt. I wish was on this list because at this point you can't save him, and I'm the leader of the cult. I'm the believer. I can't get behind the guy. Every time he rebuilds and he gets, you're like, oh shit, we're going to do it this time. He just let me down.
Mm-hmm.
But just put the rotundas on there, Vince, and be done with it. You got one, throw the other one on there. Be done with it.
Yeah, that one. When you said that line, man, and when you messaged me, I was like, damn, I thought of Old Yeller. Like, yeah, just put him out of his misery and get him off this. Let him be free. God damn.
It's true. Like, they have torn Bray Wyatt down so many times. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't quit yet.
Oh, Byron, you got any? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
JoJo's a classy lady. She costs money, and he paying child support for them other damn kids.
True.
Child support expensive, especially when you're rich.
Yeah.
Byron, you got any last things you want to say, man, before we sign off?
I hope WWE gets their shit together because, like I said, they've been on trash since WrestleMania Night 2, and they just continue to be letting me down. So hopefully it'll change soon. We can get some good storylines, good wrestling, and a good product.
Yeah, fair enough. The usual spiel. Thank you, everyone, listening for the L7C podcast. Thank you, Jacob and Byron, for being on. And it was a lot of wrestling stuff. This is our first wrestling podcast post WrestleMania, so technically we've been on a little hiatus as well. But we'll soon be getting back in the normal swing of things. Don't know if Byron will be able to be back on because Byron's about to start getting super busy again with the superhero stuff and like the Naruto stuff. And my last thing about the women being released and Eva Marie, I'm not gonna lie, if we were gonna release all those damn women, it should have been for freaking Tessa.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And the big rumors is for an AEW.
That's true.
That's the big rumors.
I personally think we need to call her because we need to know why she's not signed.
Yeah, I don't know why. I got her number. I just haven't shot her a call yet. I should have had her on my podcast a couple times by now. I've just been lazy.
Fun. But hey, with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to us podcast. You guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.